Having that banking background is a big differentiator, I think, for you than
it is. But VCs don't like bankers.
I mean, why is that?
I don't know. It's always been the case, and VCs don't like PE people. I mean, that's what I learned when I came in. I like to play the card of like I'm I'm an outsider VC.
But having that banking experience, I would think that you have a better understanding of like what this could actually be worth.
I do. I did. Sometimes I do. And sometimes I did. I mean, the markets have changed so much, good and bad again. Like, did I know when COVID happened and then the market, just was destroyed, and then 3 months later the market went crazy? Like, I don't think anybody really, of course some people did, but it's just, being able to draw on historical norms is pretty hard to do. Mm-hmm. And in this current environment, it's really hard to figure out. We have massive inflation, we're way in debt, we have high interest rates, and the market's going crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
Not to mention general unrest and a couple wars in the middle going on. Just a couple. So it's hard to just say, I think this is where the market's going. Because if I knew that, I would just put all my money in that and be done.
Right.
That's always the. But I think that when we get into conversations with it, whether it's private equity buyers or the market or how to raise money, we have a lot of experience at that.
The first couple of funds, if I remember right, I mean, you invested primarily was an investor in those funds. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So the first double M funds.
Yep.
Double M1 and double M2. I am the largest LP, the largest cash investor, and that was kind of the norm. Like when I came out and started Fund 1, I went to my former partners and my former clients and my friends and family, typical, and raised a fund. I said, by the way, I'm investing more than anybody else.
Right.
And so I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. And that gets harder over time. With Jim and I, we all still invest a lot of money in Bonfire.
Right.
But you can't do, like I was, 15 to 20% of first group of funds.
And how's that, like, what kind of difference does that make when you're making those investments? Then you see some of these young investors join a firm.
Massive. And it's really a couple ways. One is, it does mean a lot from where I was coming from, which was the investment banking, private equity world. When you say, yeah, I'm putting my money in, that makes a big difference. Venture's a little less tied to that. Mm-hmm. But I would do a deal. I would make sure the founder knew that, if I was investing $500,000, 100 of it was mine.
It's significant.
And I would say, and so DF, what I used to write everybody, so DFIU, don't fuck it up. This is kind of my shtick, and it came out of, again, not from the VC world. So
wasn't that what Bill pretty much said to you as well?
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. And he put all of his money where his mouth was. So that was, in some ways, I guess, revisionist history, you'd have to ask somebody, like, did that matter to you? That it was Mark's money, that he was actually spending his own money as opposed to somebody else's. I think that it does make a big difference. Now, where it made a huge difference was, as companies were successful in the portfolio, I made a lot more money.
Right.
Than you do if you're just an investor. And I think that most people don't understand that. I just had a conversation with the fund yesterday. Personally, I'm an investor in 25 funds. I haven't invested in any new funds in over 3 years and won't anymore. Just because of timing, and I'm already diversified. And I have a couple investments in some funds you've heard of, like Union Square Ventures and others. I'll probably do whatever, invest until Fred doesn't want to invest anymore.
Yeah.
But I often get calls, and I'm happy to, like almost mentorship to, I'm starting a fund, what do you think? How do we, what ideas do you have? Do you want to invest? All those things. And I've done that a lot. And I think there's two different ways to get into venture capital. One is to get a job at a venture capital fund, and one is to start your own fund. And they're both really hard.
Yeah.
And the middle ground is the kind of the principal level where they join a bigger fund, and they maybe have a teeny piece of carry, or they don't have carry, but they're joining and they got a nice salary and stuff like that.